The 15th Street Bridge on Jasper's east side is open once again. Hear why it was delayed. Plus, the Huntingburg City Council has approved bond refinancing to open up money for Stellar Communities projects. And host Bill Potter brings us another episode of Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, the 15th Street Bridge on Jasper's east side is finally completed. At about 9:15 this morning, crews with the Du Bois County Highway Department reopened the bridge to traffic. It had been closed recently so crews could replace the bridge decking. Now, the bridge had originally been slated to open last week, but Du Bois County Highway Engineer Brent Windholt says several different factors kept the bridge closed for just a little bit longer.
The reason we were behind since last talked is that the weather got us the week before, and then just a lot of not really nitpicky stuff, just a lot of small items that had to get done yet, and it was easier just to keep the bridge closed until we got it done. Because if they would have had to deal with traffic going across it, it would have taken longer, and it was just an extra day, so I figured it was worth it.
Windholt says he is pleased with project contractor American Contracting Incorporated's work on the bridge. Now, as mentioned, the bridge had been closed for a couple of months to allow for the repairs to get done. Windholt says since all went well, the bridge should not need any more work for a long time to come.
This should add at least 25 years of life to that bridge. Before we did the work on it, the current state, it had maybe 10, tops 8. But now we added at least 10, 15 more years to it, if not more, if it holds up.
There was originally a 90-day time frame to complete the bridge work. Windholt says the alternative was to tear down the bridge and build a brand new one. He says that alternative would have been more costly and would have taken 6 to 8 months to complete. The Huntingburg City Council has freed up more funding for Stellar Communities projects. Last night, the council approved an ordinance to refinance its waterworks bond. The refinancing will free up $350,000 in funding for the city's water department to do needed waterline projects. The two projects are the ongoing waterline work on 4th Street, as well as repairs to the waterline that feeds water to Huntingburg from Patoka Lake. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spenner says the water bond was originally implemented back in 2000. The interest rate at that time was 2.9%. Spenner says the city will refinance the bond at 1.9% through Old National Bank and still pay it off in the originally allotted time frame. In addition to the immediate savings, Spenner says an additional $100,000 will be saved over the remaining life of the bond. Spenner is thankful for the support of Old National Bank and others who made the refinancing possible.
In our first conversations with them, they said we want to make a contribution, but we want to make a significant offer for investment in our community. And with Old National Bank coming to as a purchaser of these bonds at that 1.9% rate, it shows a great partnership between our community and our local lending institution to make a significant impact in our community. I applaud Old National for their aggressive stance in this.
Now, Spenner says the refinancing will allow the city's bonding limits to remain in good shape for 2015. There will be no increases in prices for the city's water ratepayers. In other business, the council heard that construction will soon begin on the former St. Joseph's Hospital property to convert it into senior living units. The city recently received an official permit request for a building permit, thus allowing project firm Miller Valentine to begin construction. Spenner says there is a lot to do once the work begins.
The first step will be some renovation and demolition within the existing property to prepare it for reconstruction, and then additional construction that will allow 45 senior living apartments to be available in our community by January of 2016.
Construction work is set to begin sometime in mid-January. The options for a future Jasper Library site have now been narrowed down. Last night, the Jasper Library Board held a lengthy discussion on all 3 proposed sites. The board essentially eliminated the South Newton option, arguing that it had already been voted down during the previous referendum back in 2011. The board then turned its attention to the current site and the former Hoosier Desk building. Board members were split on which site was the better option. The consensus was that more information on the Hoosier Desk building, such as a purchase price and who would legally own the building, was needed before any decision could be made. The debate surrounds whether or not the Jasper Arts Commission would share the building with the library should the board decide to go to the Hoosier Desk building. Though no final decision was made, the board agreed that the Hoosier Desk building would be a unique opportunity for the library. Board member Dean Vonderheide even called it a potential game changer for the city. Library Director Christine Golden says there is still a lot to sort out. She says it's now time to work with Jasper City officials to keep plans moving.
We can definitely see from here that the city is absolutely motivated, and I think we are also. There's so many great opportunities available to us, and we really just want to see what the next steps would be to see if it is something that could be feasible moving forward.
Golden says the next step is to meet with city officials, including Mayor Terry Seitz, City Attorney Renee Kabrick, and members of the Jasper Arts Commission. No timeline was set for that meeting. The board will be represented by Golden, Treasurer Angie Sheeter, board members Mark Kunkel and Pamela Catt, and board attorney Bill Schoenefeld. Springs Valley Bank and Trust Company has announced its plans to buy a new bank building in Paoli. The company recently signed an agreement with subsidiary Mid-Southern Savings Bank to purchase that company's Paoli location along North Gospel Street. The agreement is subject to regulatory approval. Now, this sale does not involve customer relationships, loans, or deposits. It is a real estate-only sale. In a news release, Mid-Southern Savings Bank President and CEO Kermit Lamb says at the completion of this sale, current customers at the Paoli branch need to go to the bank's Orleans branch to do business. He says customers will get the same attention as they got at the Paoli branch. Meanwhile, Springs Valley Bank and Trust President and CEO Jamie Scheinebarger says the company is excited to expand its footprint eastward. Scheinebarger is hopeful that the bank's services will be embraced by folks in the Paoli community. Mid-Southern Savings Bank is based in Salem, Indiana. The company has locations in Salem, Mitchell, and Orleans, even following the sale. Company assets add up to just under $193 million in total. Springs Valley Bank and Trust will now have 4 locations thanks to the sale. The company has 2 locations here in Jasper and 1 in French Lick to go along with the new Paoli location. Total assets of Springs Valley Bank come up to $276 million. The sale is expected to be completed early next year, that is, again, pending regulatory approval. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.